Welcome everyone to another episode of Crituitous Roleplay. Previously, you were dungeon delving through White Plume Mountain, through the dungeon that was created by the Mad Mage Caraptis. After collecting the 3 legendary items that were kept within the dungeon, the mountain tomb, namely Wave, the legendary trident, Black Razor, a legendary greatsword, and Whelm, a legendary hammer, you found yourselves confronted with a number of fire giants and their orcish servants. Those fire giants came up to the entrance of the cave and sent their orcish servants down. You made easy work of the orcs that tried to come in through the traps that were within the dungeon already. And whilst resting, went to investigate what happened to the other fire giants. What you had discovered was a frost giant, a rather large frost giant, had come in and just destroyed all 3 of the fire giants and was sat down waiting for you all to come out of the dungeon. Or he was waiting for someone. You then came out, talked to him. Turns out he is a frost giant by the name of Harshnag, and he has requisitioned your services to aid him in going to a location high within the spine of the world, known as the Eye of the Allfather. You've seen the evidence of the giants all picking off and doing their own thing lately, and Harshnag had some answers. With Harshnag, you all started heading up through the mountains towards a location where you would be able to speak to the Oracle of the Allfather and get definite information about what is causing this problem and how you can help fix it. 3 days into the journey, you found yourselves ambushing a hill giant and some others, and after the battle, you rested a little bit, got to talking, getting to know each other a little bit, and that's where we pick up from. You are 2 days' journey away from the Eye of the Allfather, and winter is starting to set in. The air is getting chilly and cold, and take it away. What would you like to do?
Is everybody back? Has Aaron returned from his hunt?
Everyone has returned from their various... It's still that same day, so you've still got the 2 days' journey, but everyone is back from their various little tasks. You're getting camp ready to rest for the evening.
Aaron's going to be skinning this bear and cutting off some meat and doing all the various things. He's not going to call some.
So Aaron had spent some time in this area, just in case you hadn't seen, hunting and looking for bears to get pelts and food from. Sorry, go ahead, Loic.
Just whenever I see everyone, I'm going to approach them and ask if I can have a moment of their time in a group huddle.
Have we set up the fortress yet?
Sure. It would have been one of the standard things when you had decided this is where you're going to camp out for the night. You would set up the fortress and have an hour or 2 before sundown, before you go to sleep, and then go on.
So is everybody here? Did anyone refuse me?
Nope, no one refused. You saw Lael hesitate a little bit, but she did move on, left her retainers out of the huddle though.
Okay, I'm going to stick next to the door so that Harshnag can be part of this too. And I'm going to look at everyone and say, before we get to the Oracle, we have 6 questions, and I'd like to figure out just which 6 questions we're going to ask. I know that there are a couple of you who have questions that could be answered this way, whereas they would be very difficult to find answers to any other way. So I'd like to discern who those people are, and I'd also like to discern, Harshnag, how exactly we're going to word the question that we're all seeking together, so that we can be assured to receive an appropriate answer for what we're trying to find. Because it sounds like we're trying to find a couple things. We're trying to figure out why the ordning is broken, and we're trying to figure out where Hecaton is. Right?
Yeah. So Harshnag butts in at this point. He says,
yes, exactly. We know that the ordning has been shattered, and we know at about the same time King Hecaton disappeared. and hasn't been seen, heard of, hasn't talked to anyone since that moment. So
it's safe to assume that because he's missing, that the ordning is shattered.
It's safe to assume, I would say, that the two are connected. And bringing back Hecaton, if we could find him, might help. If we can speak to Hecaton, he should know how to fix it.
So perhaps we don't need to ask about the ordning itself, simply Hecaton. We can spend one question on that.
Mm-hmm. I would ask, how do we find Hecaton?
Finding King Hecaton might not be the only question we should ask regarding that, because if he's dead, finding his corpse will do us little good. So maybe also confirming the state of King Hecaton before trying to find where he is. Because is King Hecaton alive? Yes. Okay, let's go find out where he is. Is King Hecaton dead? Okay, well then we need to find out about the ordning.
That's a good point.
Jotting all this down.
And as we're huddled, I notice that Aaron is picking out some snacks, and I hope you brought enough for everyone.
Sorry.
You all notice that Owen is a little sheepish at the back, but he does step forward and say, I really think this is the best opportunity to find out where those who have killed my family are. I would like the opportunity to use that question, one of them, for that.
Don't you think we already solved that mystery when we found your family heirloom on the corpse of one of the orcs?
I still don't know where those orcs came from, what they were doing with the fire giants, and I have more questions than answers now.
I gathered that the orcs were forced into slavery by the fire giants, and I doubt that the orcs received an assassination order to take out your father. And if the rumors are true, and the giants are looking for magical items, then it seems to be a foregone conclusion that your father was holding on to one or more magical items, and there was therefore a casualty of that. We can certainly dig deeper into that, but it seems to be from what we've learned so far, to be the answer to your question, if you're not at ease about it.
He asks, how can we be certain that I would get the answers I seek from the fire giants? I need to find my parents' killer. And I don't think that orc that we found could have been the killer. He was too weak, too simple.
Okay, well in that case, I think potentially a pair of questions. Is your father's killer alive? If so, where can we find him?
Or it can be done in one question of where can I find my parents' killer alive? And if the answer is nowhere, then he's dead. And if they give us a solid answer, then you've got a good lead.
You might blow up it might blue screen the one eye, the Allfather.
Harshnag points out
that could probably work, you know.
Sorry, Gideon.
No, I was going to say, Gideon sort of tilts his head. You children have some strange expressions in this world.
Okay, well, I think we should leverage that type of question then for King Hecaton as well, to be as efficient as possible.
So then that's 3 questions accounted for?
So far, 2. Where can we find King Hecaton alive? Where can we find Owen's father's killer alive?
Oh, Harshnag didn't suggest where can we find Hecaton, he asked how. That might be a different thing altogether.
Where would work?
Okay, alright. Because
If we
how
can get
could...
an answer.
Okay.
I would hate to ask how, and then the oracle say, by asking me a question.
I know, right?
Those oracles, they're wily. You gotta watch them.
Okay, so 2 questions accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. I have one myself. I potentially have 2, but I could only dare ask for 1, because I know that everybody's got questions. Some of us have questions that need answering. I'm looking for an artifact of great power. I've been looking for it. I have a lead on it, but even Graven Hollow wasn't capable of answering to a degree that I could actually use the information. So I have been seeking another sort of augury device. And now that we've found one, I would greatly like to use one of the questions myself.
I have no objection.
What is it you're looking for?
I look up at him and I raise one of my dark eyebrows and I ask him, have you ever heard of something called a cubic gate?
I've seen gates in the shape of cubes.
Not the same thing.
No.
And just turn back around to the conversation.
So does anyone else have any pressing mysteries that they would like to ask a potentially all-knowing figure?
I recall Gideon didn't...
And I think we all stare at Gideon.
He's actually hovering on the threshold of the tower. He doesn't look comfortable with the idea of going in, for whatever reason. And everybody turning to him, he kind of gets a bit of an uncomfortable look. He's not used to being scrutinized. I did not wish to take a question from you if they are vital. But yes, there are things I would very much like to know.
Right. We'll prioritize your questions at the end in case there are mysterious answers that need clarification. But we could definitely, if we have 6, we can definitely make him one of the 6 if we still have room for him. Are we all agreed?
Aye.
Your grace is appreciated, children.
I don't know my parents, my real parents. I've got no way of knowing who they are, where they are. And it's not exactly crucial to my life at the moment, but this might be the only time I have a chance to ask a question where I can find out the answers to that. But if anybody else.
You may not need an oracle to find the answers to that. I may be able to help you if we simply have some downtime. Do you own anything of theirs?
Nothing. I have no memory, Chloe.
I see. It may be true then, that the only way you'll get answers is an oracle. I could try.
It's, as I say, it doesn't affect my life at the moment, but it might affect me in the future. And this might be the only opportunity. But it's not a priority. You can put me in the background. The mission comes first.
There's our 6 questions.
Well, okie doke. Do we have enough furs to weather the storm, do we think?
Out of the 3 bear pelts Aaron got 1 bear pelt, which could probably be tanned and put into maybe 2 furs for 2 normal medium-sized creatures. You would have to continue on. Lael has her own furs that she will use and won't use any other furs. And I would think most of you have some form of winter wear. So it's not like drastic that you get additional pelts to get extra warmth, but you could do with maybe 1 or 2 more bears.
You could just make bearskin rugs for the tower, get some style, and then chant them to attack intruders.
Aaron's not too worried. He's got natural fur.
Nice.
So.
I do have a winter blanket, so I will be fine.
Gamma probably needs some stuff. I just have normal adventuring clothes, and while I was prepared to go up into the kind of the foothills of these mountains, if we're going just hardcore into the snow, I am not prepared for that.
I'd probably suggest Owen take the other one. He's going to be in a similar situation.
So that leaves Loic and Gideon. So we would need at least 1 more bear. Aaron, can I convince you to hunt another bear, or do we need to do that in the morning? Is it getting too late for that?
He's been out for hours. So, how long? We got another 2 days, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
So
2 days of travel, yeah.
I will hunt on the way. If we pick up any signs, then we'll go off. If not, I'll do it when we rest. But tonight, we need to get this one prepped and ready. I've been out for too long.
Cool.
Anything else you guys want to do before bedding down for the night and then moving on?
Gamble generally each night will probably work on crafting arrowheads or ammunition of some type. I had talked to Owen about maybe working on some arrows with him. Nothing magical, just making sure he always has enough. Some broadheads, some armor piercers, stuff like that.
Aaron needs some as well. I've given him my toy at the moment, so I'm out.
All right. So if you guys make the shafts and the fletchings, I'll make the heads.
So you guys have quest notes handouts in your journal. That is a good location to keep track of any downtime activities that you're doing repeatedly. So that includes forging the arrowheads, doing specific things that you just saying you're going to keep track of and continually do. But yeah, cool. Anything else for the night? All right, so you all bed down, rest well after the battle and the exhaustion from just the day's travel and work. Harshnag keeps watch for a couple hours, and then he trades off with Lael, who stays up for the rest of it as she camped out outside the tower as well. In the morning, you all wake up. There was no disturbance throughout the night. As you wake up, though, there is a much colder feeling within the air. Winter is definitely hitting in. You can see off in the distance ahead of you, way past, you could figure it out, maybe a day's travel ahead of you, is a blizzard that appears to be heading this way. And as you're setting up camp, Harshnag just says,
"We best get a move on. Make sure we've got some sturdy shelter before that storm hits. Wouldn't want your little tower blowing over."
Man, you said it was going to be clear weather. Your meteorology skills are not to be trusted.
The weather's the weather.
So you pack up, you get headed. The journey takes you 2 days. And during that 2-day journey, Aaron goes off hunting with a couple of you, probably takes Owen with him, and you hunt down one more bear that you can use to get the pelts. At the end of the first day's travel, the blizzard gets to you, or you get to that point, and it's not as bad as it had seemed initially, but there is now a layer of snow falling as you're continuing to travel. You wrap up warm, or as warm as you can, and you crest over the mountains, and at the end of the second day, you break through a hole in the rocks, and a large valley just opens up before you. You can see a long, 40-foot wide causeway that seems to connect this side of the mountains to another side of the mountains, and there's just a huge chasm on either side of the causeway. This big, huge slab of ice stretches on for about 100 foot, and then at the other side of it you can see some ice sculptures up against the mountain. As you get closer to them, Harshnag points out to them,
"Ah, the Guardians."
And he starts explaining to you that those 6 ice sculptures are actually depictions of the 6 different types of giants. There is a hill giant lifting a rock high above its head. There's a frost giant chopping down a great big pine tree. There's a cloud giant flying amongst birds in the sky. There's also a storm giant that seems to be hurling lightning bolts at a ship. Then there's a stone giant climbing up a high mountain. And lastly, a fire giant with chained dwarven prisoners at his feet. You continue on this causeway across this 100-foot chasm, and you step closer. You should find yourselves on the left, over here. This is what you see as you arrive. That half-moon shape is this opening of this into the mountain, and the gaps, those pillars, are the ice sculptures of the various giant kinds, and you find yourself stepping up towards them, and they are towering high above you. Like, this building was obviously built to make a giant feel small. There's no light that you can see coming from the entrance of the area.
So it might be daytime outside, but inside there isn't any light. Is that what you're saying?
Not from what you can see, so you don't know. You arrive at the entryway, and Harshnag's speed almost starts to increase as he's just getting a little bit more excited to get back into the Eye of the Allfather. As he steps forward, he does mention,
there are only a few very old people that know the location of this place. It's a wonderful place.
You seem pretty excited about this place, big guy.
It feels like coming home.
Did you grow up here, child?
No, just the Allfather is the father of all giant kind, and so coming to visit his temple is a special place within my heart.
So you take this as a sacred site, I assume?
Very sacred. Please be careful while you're in there. I don't know what is in there if someone else has visited. Do be careful while you're in there.
Are there any kind of priests of your giant kind or anybody that resides here permanently that we should expect?
No. I'm the closest thing to a priest for this temple, and I haven't been here for 100 years.
So do other giants also make a pilgrimage to this place?
If they know of it, maybe. I only know of 2 other beings that know of the location.
And they are...
Unfortunately, they are dragons.
Chromatic or metallic?
That's a rude question.
You never ask someone about their religion or whether they're chromatic or metallic.
They're both chromatic, that I know of.
Well, I guess that doesn't mean absolutely everything. The only chromatic that I've ever met actually didn't turn out to be evil. So I guess there's hope.
All dragons are a nuisance. Whether they're good intended or bad, they're a nuisance. Anyways, let's go on in.
Right. Maybe you can show me these glyphs that you were talking about.
They're further on the inside.
So he leads you all through the
Gideon's
entryway.
going to be looking around with reverence now that he knows that this is a religiously significant site.
So as he steps forward into the archway, he stops you all and points up to the ceiling. High, about 60 foot above you, you can see that the ceiling has a large block that appears to be separated from the rest. And he points out,
Do be careful of that. It's a security measure. It'll close down if there's a problem.
and he walks
Define
under it.
problem.
There are guard posts with latches to lower it. I don't suspect there'll be anyone in there, but should it break, should there be someone there, it might drop.
Continues walking on and points out a second one immediately behind it.
So you think there's somewhere there's potentially people that could be here?
I've not been here for hundreds of years. There could be creatures in here. There could be people that have found it.
Aaron's going to draw a black razor.
As you step through the entryway, past these two big blocks that are dangling above the ceiling, it starts to open up, and you can see a much larger chamber that continues on down the path. Along the edge of the chamber, there is a raised platform about 20 foot high, almost like a second level. And lining that platform, that second level, you can see huge pillars from floor to ceiling, which would be 40 foot from that point.
That's probably where the food court is.
Harshnag stops you all, though. As he does so, you all can kind of see a glimmer of light off in the distance. There is a creature somewhere ahead that has a light, a torch, in his hands. He seems to be
Aaron, you're buzzing again.
You're buzzing again, yeah.
But we heard he was a wild man.
You stopped buzzing now. Of course, now I don't hear anything. Break time. So we've not had an in-game conversation about enchanting weapons and trying to get some sort of silencer, or putting runes and glyphs on ammo, right?
Right. None of that has been spoken about.
Well, we'll get there eventually.
On a meta sense, Aaron was potentially going to take silence as his next spell. Well, don't know if that's going to help. But I take it Loic's got it already.
Yeah, heck yeah, I do.
Yeah,
well, but
Loic's got everything.
For roleplay purposes, since the spell has to be cast on it every day, team building exercise, taking turns, casting. Although, here's an interesting thought. Gamel could probably make most weapons. And if we can make permanent things by constantly casting spells on it, what crazy stuff do we want to make?
Yeah, but the time it takes exponentially goes up when it's... Because what you potentially want to do is an uncommon item, and an uncommon item is normally 250 gold. A rare item's 2,500, and so the time period goes up with the amount of days you can do.
I'm just thinking of what crazy options we could come up with. Since I'm a little less familiar with the different spells, it's just fun to think, all right, if we could have a permanent spell on a weapon, what would that look like? But if that fishing rod you talked about earlier also had a levitation spell on it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it had a chain of returning attached to it, which will let you just summon it back with little effort.
Yeah.
But a weapon enchanted with hold person would theoretically give someone an auto crit.
Right.
So you're a wild man.
Yeah. Sorry, this has been a ridiculous day. So, you see off in the distance a wild man that is covered in furs. But obviously they're not neat. They're ramshackle. You can see different colours. Obviously some form of barbarian from this kind of region. And his light is shining onto his compatriots, which includes a series of similarly looking wild men that are up against this huge door, just trying to bang at the door, trying to open it. At the wild man's feet, however, is a pet that's on a leash. That pet happens to look like a white, scaled creature. Upon closer inspection, as you're approaching, you see clearer that this is actually a white dragon wormling that he has as a pet. As you're approaching, though, he doesn't seem to turn to face you. You guys are able to see him because of the light, but you guys are stepping in and he doesn't get, like, you haven't drawn his attention yet. What would you like to do?
Speaking of drawing, I'm going to draw my musket.
I ask Harshnag what he thinks that's all about.
I have no idea, but...
And he's trying to speak as quiet as possible.
But I don't think it's good.
I'd like to very, very quietly and sneakily creep behind one of these pillars.
Which pillars?
I'll show you. We'll go like right here.
Okay, you would have to climb up 20 foot onto another ledge and then move behind it. You doing that? Because climbing 20 foot up is a bit difficult unless Harshnag picks you up.
Can I, like, jab Harshnag in the calf a little bit and then motion for him to do the thing?
Mm-hmm. And he grabs you by the scruff of the neck and just places you.
I flail silently a little. Okay.
I ask Harshnag what is behind the door that they're trying to gain entry to.
That's the Eye of the Allfather. The temple, the statues of the Allfather himself. I don't know why they would be here, but they shouldn't be here.
And you can see a kind of glare in his eyes, like he's not happy that they're around.
Maybe we should ask them to leave them.
Should we ask them with force or with other means?
So have you got a way of suggesting it? This doesn't need to go into combat. They may go without.
Okay, yeah.
If it turns into combat, I'm sure we can handle it.
I appreciate your confidence. All right, Harshnag, we got your back.
All right.
He just starts storming off at a kind of a quick pace, leaping forward towards the group. And when he gets to about there, His footsteps now loud enough that it draws the attention of all of the creatures that are up against the doorway. He just shouts at them.
You should not be here. Begone from this place, or I will destroy you.
They all turn and look, and they stare at this huge frost giant, and then they look towards their leader, the person with the torch. He turns, stares at Harshnag, then looks at all of you, looks back at Harshnag. With a loud screech and a howl, he says, "Bring it on!"
I shoot him.
A weapon. Okay, go ahead and fire. Go ahead and fire.
A good negotiation.
Against the leader, as it were?
Yeah, I guess so. And I didn't declare the grit, so that'll be just normal roll. It's 12.
Yeah, unfortunately you miss. It fires through the air, the bolt, with a loud bang. Like, you can see that some ice starts to shatter and drop from the
At the very least, we scare him.
Yeah. But
and there's more loud noises like that coming.
Yeah. A moment after you fire your weapon, the wall next to his head just... dust covers him, but he's still just blaring on. I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
So does anyone have the skill in handling animals?
I have already been thinking about that and how to approach that situation.
Of course you have. Of course you have.
It's white, isn't it?
It is.
Now, in fifth ed, you don't have to be trained in order to do things. Like, it's just a question of advantage on the roll. So it's not. It's like other systems. Okay. I mean, I've got a +4 just because wisdom, but.
Yeah, I guess like anyone in real life could go up and try to pet a white dragon. In real life, because that's a real thing that happens.
Absolutely.
No.
I'm going to grab...
Usually it's a petting zoo, though, you know.
Right.
The really young white dragons just like to wrestle.
So, you fire off the shot, the loud explosion happens, everyone just kicks off into action immediately, starting with one of the berserkers that's up against the wall. He immediately starts just charging forward. Owen goes first. Owen actually moves forward as far as he can, just next to Harshnag, pulls out his longbow and fires at the lead creature. He's got advantage on the attack. So 25, it does hit. His arrow flies through the air, just collides into the chest of the leader for 11 points of piercing damage. Does he get 2 shots? Yes. He would, wouldn't he?
Was he level 5 yet?
Yeah.
He's level 5 then, yeah.
No, he's level 4. Sorry.
No.
He gets the Horde Breaker if someone...
He gets Horde Breaker, but it needs to be adjacent to the target.
He should be level 5, so he's going to take another shot with advantage. 18 does hit again for 7 points of piercing damage. The 2 arrows just fly through the air, collide with this creature. A moment later, Lael charges forward and actually dashes the rest of her movement speed. She doesn't have Angaste right now. The Berserker, he steps forward as far as he can go, 30 foot closer, and charges forward even more. Uses his action to dash as much as he can. Aaron, what would you like to do?
I'm going to move forward. And I'm going to cast Fireball at whoever's closest.
At this one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. You're doing this almost while you're still moving. You hand out, you hit. 13 points. His flesh starts to singe and burn. Then another Berserker steps forward, wielding a great axe. Just charges forward towards Lael. Can't quite make the distance. However, the white dragon wormling, following the orders of its master to kill, it is going to fly up into the air ever so slightly as it moves up towards you all. Oh, wait, it's got a fly speed of 60. What am I doing? So it can actually move up to here and launch its cold attack at Lael. Cold breath. Lael needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay, she's fine, but she does take 11 points of cold damage.
So when we first saw that adorable creature, it had a chain on it.
It did have a chain. The chain is now dangling from beneath it.
How high is he and how long is the chain?
He's about 20 foot in the air. The chain is a 10-foot chain. That's the white dragon done. Gideon.
I'm just going to move forward 30, so just in front of Owen, and take up a defensive posture, I think, just to attack if anything comes in range.
Okay. So you're just going to hold your action until something is in range?
Yeah, can't do much else right now.
Melee. Cool. Then Taman.
Taman will move to that spot by the Berserker. So that'll be a move and a dash. And a bonus action, he'll grab his prayer bead and cast Bless on himself and on Lael and on Aaron.
Okay. So himself, Lael, and Aaron, you all feel the surge of divine energy. Anything else from you?
That's it.
Okay. Then the shaman moves forward 30 feet. This one, stepping from behind the leader of the barbarians, this one looks very different. He is got a lot of bones and skulls dangling from clothing and from necklaces and such. Steps forward and throws a hex spell on Aaron. Until the spell ends, he deals extra damage to you.
Okay.
And that's all he's going to do. Berserker, he also charges forward. The leader this time, he now starts charging out. He goes the 30 foot. He can actually make it up to the other side of Aaron, so he's just charging up as close as he can. No actual actions this turn. Same with the others. Gamel, what are you doing?
I am going to step forward 25 feet. That's as far as I go because I have short, stubby legs. And then I'm going to drop my musket along the way and whip out my pistol and just shoot at the shaman. And I'm going to expend a grit point so I get advantage.
Okay.
So that get
you
him?
do hit. Yep.
All right, so that's
Good, powerful
8 piercing.
shot.
And I'll do my extra attack to shoot him again.
The loud cacophony just goes through. And this, with the second shot, you actually shatter some of the skulls that he's wearing around his neck. Bones flying everywhere. Anything else?
No, attack, extra attack, move, I'm done.
Cool. Loic, what would you like to do?
Step out from around my corner here, just enough to see, and then I'm going to cast a fireball centered on the shaman. And instead of fire, let's make it acid.
Go ahead. Right, everyone within a, 10-foot radius or 20?
20, I think, for fireball.
Yeah. Okay. So all of these ones. Go ahead and fire.
Sounds gruesome.
I'm just picturing a xenomorph that's just detonated in the middle of it.
Okay. All of them. In the huge explosion of acid, this big, huge burst of green ichor just explodes, and all of them in the immediate vicinity immediately just take a big, huge chunk of the acid, and then skin starts to melt. They all fail their saving throws and take 27 points of damage.
Nice.
And then I chuckle underneath my breath and step back behind the pillar.
As the kind of mist and acid starts to clear, you notice that the shaman is no more. His entire flesh has just been destroyed and eaten away in an instant.
In that case, my chuckling lasts a little bit longer than it would have otherwise.
Yep. Nice, powerful hit. Anything else, Loic?
That's it.
Alright. Then last Berserker. Charging through and into the fray. Owen is up. Owen is just going to try and fire at the one here, since it looks weak. 24, that'll hit, and that will actually be enough to kill. You see this arrow just shoot through. It knocks back one of the barbarians as he falls to the ground behind Taman. He then pulls out another shot at the barbarian on the other side of Taman. For a 16, that does also hit. It only does 9 points of piercing damage. Lael runs up beneath the dragon and swings at the barbarian. Very basic. She hits and lashes at this creature. A second shot, also just carving more flesh out. That's it for her. Berserker charges forward. Still just out of range, so he moves up. Aaron, you are up.
How far is the dragon up?
The dragon is 20 foot above the ground. But it's in level with the second, the ledge. So it seems almost at that level.
Is the chains further down though, right?
Yeah, 10 foot down.
And I don't want to interrupt Aaron's about to be kill session, but it looks like Harshnag.
I am imagining that Witcher clip that you sent out.
This is good.
Yeah, I know I forgot Harshnag initially, so he's just going to come in at the next round.
Okay, Aaron and me sit here, swing away. You're all doing a pretty good job. I don't want to see what you're doing. So. Has this guy taken damage already?
This one has, yes. You carve into him, but he's still standing, still able to just keep up with the fight.
Okay, second attack.
That'll do it. And that is enough to kill. As you fell this creature, you feel that familiar surge of energy and power. Your muscles tense up even more, and you gain 67 temporary hit points.
Okay. That's all I can do.
Okay. And the berserker that's now between Lael and Taman, with his great axe in hand, he just starts swinging recklessly at Taman. With a 22 to hit you, Taman.
That'll hit.
Okay, you take 14 points of slashing damage. With the momentum still going, he swings it back around and goes for another slash. With a 19 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay, just swinging it off key, missing badly. The dragon lowers itself ever so slightly and bites away at Lael with his teeth. And misses terribly as he tries to chomp down. Then lastly uses his hands and claws to try to grab onto Lael. Not to restrain her or anything, but just to hold onto her. But that's it for that. Gideon, what are you doing?
I shall move up 30 feet again, so yeah. I'm going to use a bonus action to cast, is it magic weapon?
Yep.
So that becomes a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls. As he does that, I don't know if you're going to let me do this or not, but I mentioned to you what I wanted to do with the halberd. So as he's bringing it up to level 1, you do see the form sort of shift a little bit. Grows almost a spear tip. Metal looks a bit brighter. It's not quite as derelict looking as it did a second ago.
Yep, that's fine. It's just flavour.
Yep, that's all it is. And I'm going to swing at the guy to the north of Taman.
The one that was swinging recklessly, you have advantage on the attack.
Okay, sweet.
And you do hit. Go ahead and roll the damage.
Alright.
You pierce into his flesh. Anything else? Do you get a second attack?
I do. That's a very good point. I forgot about that. Oh. That's better.
And it's a perfect one. Your first jab went in, you found your target, you swing around for another more powerful hit.
I'm going to re-roll one of those dice.
Yeah? How are you going to re-roll them? Like, what gives you...
Great weapon... Well, it makes no difference. A great weapon fighter, if I roll a 1 or a 2 on damage, I get to re-roll it, but...
Okay. So you still only take, 10 damage. Okay. We'll give 10 damage. Alright. Anything else?
Nope.
Cool. Taman, you are up.
With my bonus action, I'll cast Shalala And then I will continue wailing on that same barbarian who Gideon just hit.
You hit it quite powerfully. Swing, and it is still standing though, after your 2 attacks.
I will blow on him to see if that knocks him down.
Unfortunately not. He is looking very weak though, struggling to stand up.
I will action surge and take one more swing at that guy.
Okay. And with the second swing, you do it. You kill this berserker that's between you and Lael.
Okay, and then I should have one more attack from the action surge, and I will use that to attack this gentleman.
That'll do it. Knock some sense into this creature. Anything else?
That's it.
Alright. Harshnag, now involved, steps forward and grabs hold of the dragon. Uses an athletics check, contested with the dragon's dex. He manages to reach up, grabs hold of the dragon by the wings. You can see that it's now starting to flail away, but he's got a hold of it, and he just turns it towards the wall and shouts, "Go on then." In response, the berserkers charge forward to their nearest combatants, attacking recklessly at Aaron. Get advantage. It's a 24 to hit, Aaron.
Yes.
Okay, you take 15 points of slashing damage. And he comes round with a second attack at 23.
Yep.
Okay, that's 4 points of slashing. That's it for him. The berserker. In. He gets to there and he waits for something, you don't know what. But this berserker that's behind Taman, that just took an attack, he's actually going to slide between Taman and Aaron. And
can I have an opportunity attack as he does that?
Do you have a feat that allows you to get an opportunity attack when it enters your range?
Yeah, I got the Pole Arm Master.
Yep. Okay, go ahead. That hits. Roll the damage. 7 points of slashing. Okay.
Yep.
Now, this barbarian, as he steps in between, he doesn't actually attack Aaron. He drops his great axe and then reaches out to grab a hold of Aaron. I'd like Aaron to make either an athletics or acrobatics check.
Oh,
okay. You are now grappled as this barbarian just grabs a hold of you, holding you either side of the arms, holding you down. You're now restrained by him, or grappled by him. Okay?
Okay.
That is all he is going to do. Gamel.
Gamel is going to move up, again, that 25 feet because of his short, stubby legs. And he is going to shoot at the guy who tried to grab onto Aaron with his pistol. And we'll use a grit. Why not get advantage on that?
That'll hit.
7 damage, and then I'm actually going to reload now. And hopefully next turn is awesome. But that'll... Or no, that's a lie. I'm not going to reload. I'm going to shoot him again. And I'm also going to use my grit again.
This shot getting more aimed perfectly, but the shot was a little bit less powerful than the last.
And I am done.
Okay. Loic.
I'd like to check my knowledge on wormlings to see if they are immune to charm effects.
Make a history check or nature. As far as you know, no. It's too young to have any of that kind of ability.
Alright. I'm gonna take a dash action. Get all the way over here.
Okay.
And Harshnag's holding on to... He's grappled the wormling,
He's
right?
grappled it and he's actually turned it towards you all, so it's more like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna motion up with him with my hand and be like, bring it over!
Okay. Berserker runs in to attack Harshnag to release that wormling. This is a bad idea, but he does it. A 14 is going to miss. Swings again. The 19 also missing. This time, well, he hits, but he just bounces off of Harshnag's calf muscle. Nothing else. Owen fires off another shot. Lael swings again. Aaron, you are grappled by this barbarian.
grapple means they can still attack, doesn't it?
Yeah, so the grappled creature speed becomes 0, can't benefit from any bonuses. That's it, yeah.
Can't benefit from any bonuses. What we got?
Bonuses to your speed, sorry.
Alright. So I can attack the guy that's grappling me and I can attack the guy in front of me.
Yep, yes you can.
I'm going to ignore the guy that's grappling me like a fool, and I'm going to attack the guy in front of me. I now have advantage on these attacks, so 23.
That'll hit.
The guy in front of me easily had damage, yeah?
Yes, he has had damage.
Yes.
Quite a lot, actually. He's barely able to stand up at this point. Anything else from you?
Second attack on that guy.
Okay, with this second attack you carve him down and cut him up.
Okay, how many hit points for him?
He had 67. So you gain hit points back if you didn't have any and go up to 67 at most.
Okay. The guy behind me?
Yep.
What's required to break a grapple? It's like, is that an attack action or a full action to break a grapple?
You can use the action to attempt to break out the grapple, or you can just attack him and hope you kill him.
Okay, I'll spend my action surge and I'll attack the guy.
That'll hit. And he has taken damage.
Okay, I can only do it once. So.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Okay. You swing, carve. You doing it again?
Yeah, second attack, yeah.
Second one comes in. Yep. Level 14. The power, the damage from all of these attacks is actually enough that his hands just break off of you. No longer grappled. Almost like stepping away from you. A little bit scared. Anything else, Aaron?
I'm just going to stand there and shake my head in. You can leave.
The wormling is going to attempt to break out of the grapple and fail. She's going to writhe away, try to shake and move, but can't do anything. Gideon.
I'm going to attack this laddie up here.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, all hitting their mark.
I shall re-roll one of those, bear with me. They'll all have a +1 for the magic weapon.
Sad trombone. Wah, wah.
Going in with your attacks, he does start to look a little bit weaker, quite bloodied. He's got blood dripping down from his face. He's still holding onto his grey attacks very strongly, determined, but he's looking weak. Anything else, Gideon?
No, that's it.
Taman.
I will attack this fellow.
Okay. That'll do it with one quick swing, not even really paying attention, and he's down.
And then I'll turn around and level my next 2 attacks at this fellow.
The first one manages to connect, but the second one just misses, unless you would like to use Bless, which is still active. Unfortunately, not quite enough. You still miss that one, but you still get the 8 points of bludgeoning damage against him.
Very good. I will end my turn.
Okay. Harshnag, following instructions, carries the wormling over to Loic.
Here you go. What do you want with it?
Thanks.
Then he's effectively using the help action. Whatever you attempt to use will have an advantage.
Okay.
If that's such a thing. Okay. Berserker steps forward to attack Lael. Both swings just completely missing. Gamel.
Let's get ready, Whelm. We're going to chuck Whelm at the guy in between Lael and Taman.
Okay.
And then he flies right back to my hand and we do it again.
With the second shot, it connects and the body just... You hear this loud crunch as his chest just caves in and he falls to the ground.
Oh, yeah. I say it and see if Whelm says it back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Look, rolls his sleeves up, and just to confirm, whenever the barbarian commanded it to kill, he used common, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to see if this works. I'm going to cast Suggestion, and I'm going to tell it, down, heal, stay. And I'm going to see if it stops moving and stops fighting.
What's the DC on that?
17.
Wisdom gets a 6, so failed save. It pursues the course of action you described to the best of its ability. So, do you also instruct Harshnag to let go of it?
If it stops, if its attention comes to me and it starts to kind of settle down, then I will instruct him to set it down.
It looks at you, just locks eyes with you, and immediately calms down, stops struggling, and its head lowers. So you tell Harshnag, he puts it down on the floor, on the ledge next to you.
Perfect.
And it just sits there.
Thank you, Harshnag.
Relaxing.
I'm gonna walk over to him and put my hand on it. And pat it. Its little head.
Owen is up. I don't know what Owen would do. I think he'd move up here and fire at the last remaining berserker. That's a crit, that'll do it. 10. The second one unfortunately misses. That's him. Lael will swing. And that will be enough to fell the creature. The area just calms down immediately as the last berserker falls to the ground. You see yourselves surrounding the bodies of this small little group of barbarians and a dragon at Loic's feet.
New pet, Loic?
For about 8 hours. I have contained it for the time being, but if we want to keep it, then someone will have to come over here and imprint themselves on it.
You certainly are quite the collector, aren't you, Master Wizard? First the hookah, now a dragon.
I am a collector of resources. Resources of all kinds.
You should have seen her entourage in the Underdark. His entourage in the Underdark.
I've no doubt.
It was a fairly impressive one. At one time, I had a shield guardian.
Harshnag looks interested and he approves of this.
Best keep them subjugated. That's the way dragons should be.
I'm gonna take its little chain and stuff.
Okay.
So start searching the bodies, trying to figure out what they're doing here.
So make investigation checks as you're going through all of the stuff. You all look through, you find that on the various creatures there's about 100 gold pieces worth of coins, various different coins from one to the other. Aaron, you noticed that the larger barbarian, the one that was kind of looking like he was in charge, he was wearing a amulet around his neck. It's kind of an amber looking gem inside of this amulet with a carving design on it. But as you touch it, it does feel somewhat magical.
Loic might have a magic item. Okay, take a look.
Sure. I'm gonna roll Arcana on it.
Yep. Roll an Arcana check. Yeah. You immediately detect this is a magical item. In fact, it appears to have a particular type of magic you've seen before. It seems somewhat similar to anti-divination, though the specifics you don't know.
Seems to have some sort of non-detection magic on it, just from a glance.
Okay.
Harshnag suggests, he steps up and he's like,
Okay, might want to keep something from the tribe. From what I know about these Uthgard tribes, the barbarians up in the mountains, you keep what you kill. You gain a lot of respect among them if you slew one of them. So maybe take something that belongs to them, show it, you might be able to get the rest of them easily, caught off their guard.
Aaron will put it in the bag or hold it for the time being, and then we'll see if we can identify it properly later.
Yep.
What kind of weapon was the head guy wielding?
He was just wielding a great axe.
Can we take that? I would imagine if we ran into his tribe again, they would recognize their... Well, this might be their chief. This might just be a lower level guy. But he seemed to be in charge of these guys. So maybe if we grab his weapon, we will show our superiority.
Yeah. You go loot the bodies, look next to his. You see that his great axe hadn't actually managed to get into combat, so it's very clean. You pick it up. You now have a great axe.
Do you want to aim the group inventory?
Please, it's very heavy.
Yeah,
I am not very strong.
Aaron will put it in the bag and hold it.
Thanks, sir.
And Loic, remind me again, what was the command that you gave the creature?
I said stay, but you tell me how this works, as I've seen it used various ways. I have seen it before where it's used like Gios, where I can change what I say so long as it didn't stop doing the last thing I said. And then there is simply stopping at the last thing I said, which was stay in this case, which is relative as to whether or not he has concluded it.
Yeah. So, because there is a spell specific to being able to just control and keep suggesting, I would prefer to go along the route of when you cast it, you gave the command, and it will spend the next 8 hours following that command. So it will spend the next 8 hours staying.
Okay. Is there anything that I can attach the chain to?
It's only a 10-foot chain, so there's not really too much. You look around and you can see that those pillars look like they've got a little bit of an alcove into them. There is a point on each of those pillars where there's a sconce, maybe a couple feet up above the ground. So you could wrap it around there, but that's about it.
Like a giant-sized sconce that'll stay on the wall if he tries to fight against it?
Yes, but because it's a giant-sized sconce, it's at a giant height, 10 foot above the ground.
All right. I will try to toss the chain over it and try to tie him down, because this is a concentration. So if I were to have to use a spell later on, he'd stop.
Hey, Owen, see if you can calm that thing.
Yes, if anyone is capable, that would be wonderful.
And Loic, I have my staff if you need something secure to tie the chain to.
I would not rob you of your staff, Damon.
Well, I could easily recall it. It's just, if you need something stationary and strong enough to hold this critter in place, the immovable feature of my staff should do the trick.
I'll just tie the sconce for now, see if Owen can do anything to calm it down generally. So on and so forth.
So Owen seems very shy about this, having never actually come face to face with a dragon of any sort. He would prefer not to do such a thing. It seems calmed by your instruction anyway, and he does say that if you tie it up, it would seem to suggest that even if you lost concentration and it got free, it might fly away.
Can I just ask, out of character, what's everybody's handle animal? Who's got the highest score?
5.
2.
I got 4. All right. Well, I was just wondering. It's staying now. I was wondering if we could, like, with animal handling, make it our friend, so that after 8 hours it would hang around if for some reason he got away. But anyway, I guess I'll leave that thing to Loic. I just shoot stuff.
I am proficient in animal handling, and I have an 8 in it. But I'm not interested in the pet dragon. But I will do whatever is necessary if the party wants to do something to it.
No, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be a whole big thing like that. Real quick, did Owen say that it will fly away?
Well, Owen goes over to it, and using what limited animal knowledge he has, he checks over it and gets a feel for the fact that the creature is a tamed creature, as it were. It was a pet of someone else. So without its owner to command it, or the death of its owner, it will most likely try to run away when it can. And he says that to you. I think it'll just try and fly away.
Loic, do you want me to try to do anything to the dragon?
You can't talk to it, can you?
Probably not. But I can handle it like on...
Okay.
If it's like on any other animal, I can try to, approach it like any other animal.
What my main priority was during the battle was to simply get it separated away from all the carnage. So now that it is separated, we can just go ahead and deal with it here and I will figure out before we leave this room whether or not I have a new pet dragon. So, it's tied to the thing. Taman, I will drop the spell, and when we do, I will help you attempt to corral this beast and imprint upon it. And if it doesn't work, then we can set it free or kill it, and then that'll be that. You'll never speak of it again. Sound good?
Well, then we can tell everyone that we slew a dragon.
Yeah. A white.
So you're gonna let it go?
Well,
My honest opinion is not to let this thing go. Like,
not to let it go?
it's a white dragon. This is going to grow up to be a fierce creature that can cause much destruction. Unless you can tame it or take it onto yourself, then we shouldn't let it leave out here.
If you'll remember, I said killing it was completely an option. Absolutely. I'm just saying whatever happens, happens. We'll deal with it. First, I want to see if I can tame it. Or if Taman can tame it. And if it doesn't, do as you may with it. I will ask, though, if you do kill it, try not to mar the hide too much, because I may attempt to make use of it.
Gideon's going to distance himself from this. He's going to stay well on the other side of the room, and doesn't appear to approve.
Okay, so, dude's tied up. Taman, you're next to me now, or what?
Are we doing this now, or are we doing this on our way out?
I would like to do it now so we can get it out of the way. Move on.
Okay. Harshnag, can you lift me up?
Yep. Reaches down, grabs you, puts you up on top.
While this is happening, I'm going to investigate the stairs with everybody else. Presumably they've got their dragon thing going on.
Fair enough. Loic, are you dropping the concentration and having Taman just animal hand straight away? Is that the plan?
Don't drop your spell yet, Loic. Let me see if I can try and instruct it that it has new masters, and if I get a sense whether or not that's successful, then we can drop the spell. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to try to communicate to the dragon via my skills of animal handling that we mean it no harm, and we wish to care for it better than his former masters did.
Okay, go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
And before I do that, I will just do a quick prayer to Eldath for a little guidance. And that.
It doesn't seem to react at all to any attempts by you. In fact, it seems to still be determined to stay. It's not even moving its head anymore. It's just staying.
Look, I don't know if it's just because I don't have a good connection with dragons or what it is, but I don't think I'm going to have any luck with this fella.
Okay. Before we let him go, I should try, right? I should at least try.
You can do.
What do you need to try?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my
You
god.
have an uncanny ability to pull these off.
Okay. Is this while it is still charmed?
I guess it would have to be, because that was the plan, to do it before I dropped the charm.
Okay. It seems to respond to your instruction a little bit. It seems unwilling to move from its current instructions, though.
Okay.
And unable to, in fact. But it does seem to shift slightly in its demeanor towards you.
I'm gonna be like, Taman, I might have it.
Okay, well, I'm going to ready my quarterstaff in case you don't.
Okay.
And DM, I'm going to ready an action. So, I presume, Loic, you're going to grab the chain?
The chain is fastened right now to a
Oh,
thing.
right. Okay.
And it's stronger than I am, so let's keep it there.
Okay. So, DM, I am readying an action if the dragon appears to try to attack myself, Harshnag, or Loic, or if it tries to fly away from us. I will swing with my quarterstaff.
At the same time, you see Harshnag, because he stood right there next to it. He raises his hands, ready to catch it, almost like he's going to do a big, huge slap, just getting ready. Loic, you drop the concentration on the suggestion spell. The creature shakes its head a little bit, looks at you, looks towards Taman and Harshnag in the situation, and while it doesn't seem aggressive towards you, it immediately starts to crawl along the ground away from you.
All right.
Do we have any food?
Yeah. I'm gonna break out a little piece.
Animals like food.
But this is something that has gotten used to a harsh treatment, so we want to be kind of careful about how we handle it. So we'll see. I'm gonna approach it.
It's not growling at you, but it's still a little wary, moving back.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take out a little piece of food, and then I'll toss it at it.
What kind of food are you throwing, just out of curiosity?
Dried meat. That's
dried meat.
Standard ration.
Okay. You throw the dried meat into the air, and it actually jumps up, catches it in its mouth, but while it's in midair, its wings just spread, and it tries to fly away. Taman, are you swinging for it?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you go in to swing at it. Harshnag sees you attack it, and he just brings his hands down as well to grab onto it, which helps you. You do manage to hit it. The force of Harshnag's crushing grip and your quarterstaff knocking it against it, you do hear a loud crack, and the wormling dies.
That was a little quick on the trigger, guys, don't you think? It was still tied up.
That's what I readied my action. If he tries to get away, that means he wasn't tamed.
Yeah, but everyone's gonna try to bring it back down. That's okay. It's cool. Owen, are you gonna give us skin and crap?
Out of character, can I put a request as the DM that we stop asking Owen or Lael for anything, just because I've been asked not to railroad their characters, and it's now getting to a point where I'm having to make decisions on behalf of Owen without really knowing what Owen would do, and they would prefer that I don't.
Okay, no problem. Instead, I'll ask Aaron.
Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, Aaron will ask Harshnag for a lift.
I'm not a mechanical thing. Go on.
And he grabs you and puts you up.
Cool. Bucket list. Thanks. Okay, well, I suppose we want to skin this thing.
Yes, please.
Okay. What do you need me to roll?
You're trying to skin it?
Yeah.
Okay.
With Black Razor.
With Black Razor. Okay. Black Razor is a whole great sword. You're really going to try and skin a dragon with a great sword?
Yeah, because I get advantage if I let go. I lose my advantage if I let go of it.
Okay. Roll a survival check with disadvantage.
I get advantage.
It's too... it's not... Okay, you do it normally. It's very different. You do it no advantage or disadvantage on this because it is a ridiculous attempt.
Okay, fine.
Go ahead and roll the survival check. Alright. You do manage to cut off a bunch of the scales and the hide. You can sever the tail and have the dragon tail, and I would say a half dragon hide. That's what you get off of it.
Can we take off the head, mount it, and have it above the fireplace in the adamantine fortress?
Yes, you can. But as you're carving it, Aaron, you hear this familiar voice in your mind. Like, seriously, this thing is already dead. This isn't a fun meal for me. Find me something living.
Just gonna ignore him.
At which point
I've just fed him twice.
You feel the immediate surge of energy to signify he has cast the haste spell on you.
Okay. What, do you want me to speed it up?
Get done with this quicker, and you carve through it and get it done.
Okay.
And then you feel the familiar downer that comes from the haste spell finishing. At which point,
at that point, I'm actually going to think to him, "You could have done that earlier, and I would have fed you more."
No response. Harshnag steps up. He's like, "Right, well, if that's done," and he walks straight towards the huge doors that the berserkers were trying to knock past. Yep.
Harshnag, before you walk off, would you mind helping a brother out?
You want to lift down?
I mean, please?
I just jumped down behind him.
Fine.
Thanks, buddy.
Aaron's going to jump down.
Grabs you. He drops you a little bit, getting a little impatient.
My ankle.
And then he starts charging towards the door, and with a heavy thud, he just pushes it open. You can see huge chunks of ice just breaking as he forces all of his weight behind, and the door opens wide. You feel a blast of air going from the room you're in into the central chamber beyond. You step in. Harshnag actually pulls out a huge torch and lights it for everyone to see.
Ah!
I know it's going to be annoying, but he does so. You can see just in the distance with the light casting onto it, there is a huge statue right in the center of the chamber, and then lining the outside are 6 enormous statues that all seem to be in a kneeling position around the outside of this central one. He steps forward towards the center and kneels down at this huge statue and places his hand on it, almost in a prayer-like stance. And he takes a moment. You guys doing anything while he's paying homage to this statue?
I'm gonna go check out the other statues and evaluate them and see if there's any, threat of them coming into life. The standard.
Mm-hmm. So you... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say I will respectfully limp around with my twisted ankle.
I'm going to be quiet about it, but I'll be telepathically communicating with Whelm how all this is bogus and the giants are terrible, terrible people. But we respect the group enough and Harshnag not to say anything, but this is all bogus and these people are all the worst thing ever.
He suggests that maybe we accidentally knock one of these statues down.
I like it. I mean, we'll get there. I mean, clearly on the way out, the giant with the chained dwarves, that's got to go. But, this is a holy place for him. We'll wait for him to leave before he desecrates his temple, but then we're totally going to desecrate his temple. It'll be great.
All right. You're investigating the statues that are around this, around the center one, and that's so you can see them all. You get an idea that each of these large subservient statues again represents each of the different giant tribes. Immediately close to where Loic is a hill giant, and he's knelt down as the rest of them are, and his hands are out, and in his hands is this enormous bone great club. And while the statue itself is made out of rock, you can see that this great club is completely one big piece of bone.
I assume is it a fire giant that's beside the hill giant?
Yes, it's a fire giant, and in his hands is a huge iron greatsword.
And is the greatsword not made out of stone?
No, the greatsword itself is made out of iron. It's very definitely not part of the statue.
There's something up with these weapons they're holding. Can I check to see if I can see the glyphs that Harshnag had been talking about yet?
Yeah. So make a perception check. Okay. You see the glint of the glyphs coming off of the wall just over here on the far side. So they're not on the statues themselves, but on the far side.
I'm going to go check those out.
And what you see is actually a archway of glyphs lining the entire area. And inside that archway, you see a wall. But as you get closer, you with your true sight, you actually notice that this is, like some of the other areas you've been to in the past, is kind of misty. Very familiar, in fact, to Gromf Baengri's teleportation doors. In that it needs some sort of activation to trigger and be able to open up for you.
Don't go through it. We find bad things on the other side.
It's a Stargate, guys. You put in the right coordinates and we get transported.
So,
Now, looking at these runes, we recognize them as giant runes, I presume?
They look giant. Now, ignore the names on each of them. Harshnag steps forward as you're investigating them, and he points to the one known as Ice.
That's Ice. That's the frost giant symbol.
But he doesn't know the rest of the symbol. He doesn't know what they mean, what their names are, and he's not sure which one refers to which.
Would you like to know?
Yes, that would be good to know.
Okay, then I will switch my psionic focus to Nomadic Mind, which enables me to gain the ability to read and write one language of my choice. And I will choose this ancient giant script.
Okay. So you look through it, and you see that the one that's called Horg is representing the hill giants. Then there's Stein for the stone giants, Ice for frost giants, Ild for the fire giants, Sky for cloud giants, and Uvar for storm giants.
So, hill, frost, and fire. They're in no particular order.
No real particular order at all. Can I have you guys make a perception check?
I will say, Whelm can read and write giant, so if he has anything to communicate regarding this.
He just lets you know the same sort of thing, that these are the giant runes representing each of the giant races.
Whelm can write.
He can read. Let's see. The weapon communicates telepathically with its wielder and can speak, read, and understand Dwarvish, Giant, and Goblin.
Okay, so it can't write it.
I imagine
No, but it
write
can
it.
speak, read, and understand.
You all looking around the area, you're taking stock of these giant statues that are kind of the most important thing in the room. And while each of them represents each of the giant races, and each of them also in turn are in the same position, hands out with a weapon laid out in front. You've got a mithril spear for the cloud giants, an adamantine trident for the storm giants. You look at the frost giant statue, and the weapon is not there. Whatever would have been in his hands is not there.
I ask, I guess, Harshnag and Loic if we could recall I guess everyone. I ask everyone, do you remember the statues outside? What was the frost giant carrying?
The statues outside.
Axe.
The frost giant. Yeah, he was using an axe to cut down a great pine.
So it would be likely that this statue is missing an axe.
Mm-hmm. Harshnag steps up.
Yes, that statue usually holds a steel great axe in his hands. I don't know where it would be.
Who would have taken it, child?
I don't know. The thing weighs 750 pounds.
There are some corridors back behind us. Perhaps we can locate it somewhere in here. Maybe someone took it and displaced it.
Can you locate objects, Loic? Do you have a spell that does that?
No.
Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so obviously the weapons are meant to not be permanent fixtures. They're meant to be moved. And we have a doorway which has some sort of combination lock, if you will. So maybe the weapons are keys, and maybe the missing weapon suggests that someone is using it.
Can I make an insight check to try and intuit how that puzzle may work, or if that is a good suggestion as any?
Make an intelligence check. Just a straight intelligence.
Are you sure it couldn't be a wisdom check instead?
Wisdom is more of your ability to perceive things that are around you.
I'm trying to perceive whether or not the stuff around me is true or not.
That's a save, not a check, if you want to try again.
Oh, sorry. No, it's not going to be any better, I promise. Yeah.
You don't really...
That
There's nothing right now that suggests it. However, Taman is onto something with the fact that these great weapons can be separated from the statues.
You want to try to
All right.
poke one of the glyphs with one?
What was that, sorry?
You want to try to... I was Do you guys want to try to poke one of the glyphs with a corresponding weapon? Like a key in a hole?
I do not think I could lift one, child.
We can ask Harshnag. Harshnag, I think we need to hold one of these weapons up to its corresponding glyph. Would you mind giving us a hand?
Let's see how strong he is.
If it's only 750 pounds per weapon.
There are passageways, alternate doors in between each of these statues, Gamel observes. You could open and go through those before we tried the magical, misty, who knows what happens when we activate it, passageway.
Each of these doors, these huge iron doors, similar to the first one, is just covered in this thick layer of ice and frost. You look at it and you figure you could melt it away or just try and hack away at the ice if you wanted to open these doors up. But you do have those options before you. What would you like to explore first?
We haven't figured out how the Misty Gate door works yet.
No. You could try the idea that Loic had. I think it was Loic that suggested poking the glyphs with the weapons, but Harshnag would have to get a little bit of help picking these heavy things up.
I have prepared telekinesis today, so no worries there.
Oh, fair enough.
Do you want to? There's no harm in if we activate it. Does it mean we have to walk through it right now? We can still explore the other areas, or at least if we try it and it fails, then we know that's not the issue, and we can try other avenues and go into the other doors.
Though with all the ice already in place, we can be pretty confident nobody has recently come in and gone through any of those doors, like the fellows we found and dealt with outside.
Well,
But I guess it's also possible that there are clues further inside for which to solve this riddle, if we don't think it is solved. I think that if we were successful in poking one of the glyphs, it would require us to then enter. So maybe it would be better to get our exploring out of the way now and then come back to this room.
I think Gamel is just going to start beating at some ice, and if the ice is so solid it would just take way too long to get off, he'd abandon that. But if we can knock down the ice and stuff and clear open a door without too much effort...
On the north side?
Maybe we check that out. Yeah, I went to the door on the north.
So you start hacking away at it, and with Whelm, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah.
And with every hit, you do see the ice.
Pretend every one of these is a giant. Smash, smash, smash.
He's happily chipping away at the ice, and you are digging through it. It could probably be a minute or two, and you'd be able to clear out enough ice to start opening the door.
I'm holding a shield over Gamel's head as he does that.
Gideon will take out his mace and move to assist.
Okay. So the few of you working at it, hammer, knock, 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 just cracking this ice, maybe pull out a chisel, a piton, and just starting to knock huge chunks out of the way. And after about a minute or so, you guys do manage to clear enough that the doors start to just swing in place. Well, not swing, but they seem to just relax a little bit now that they're not under the pressure and the weight of the ice that was around them.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to ask Harshnag, if he knows. Hey, Harshnag, what's behind these doors to your sacred temple that we're banging on?
So, this on the north side would be the chapel. It is a large, long corridor filled with pews where ancient ceremonies to the All-Father were conducted. And to the south is the mess hall, equally as important.
In retrospect, we could have asked that before we started chipping away, but you know what? We're here. Great. Let's go check it out.
Yep, doors open, might as well.
Would you like some help?
He comes along. Let's open up the door. The door swings open, and you can see that in this area, actually, immediately to your right, there's a set of stairs that start leading up away. And then you can see further down into the room, into the chapel itself, down the long corridor towards the end. You move around the corner, and you can see right at this side of the
Communist
chapel.
in here.
is a huge statue of a stone giant with his arms wide open towards the sky.
Aaron's going up the stairs.
You going up the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I asked Harshnag, who's this fellow?
No one in particular. Just a depiction of a giant in worship.
Got it.
Make perception checks, everyone on the lower chamber. I know Aaron and Loic are moving up. Everyone else?
Aaron, we shouldn't be separated. We're gonna get lost here. We don't know where we're going.
I don't get lost.
Gamel, you hear quite clearly that as Gideon and you step into the room, a loud rumble starts to build up off in the distance on the other side of the chamber. It appears as if something is shifting and moving.
I never like when I walk in somewhere and seem to set off a trap, so perhaps we step back for a moment and see what is happening. Maybe get a fortified position.
What does Aaron see on the top floor?
You move up to the top floor, off to the right. You see a room almost identical to the first, just another layer of the chapel.
Gideon, who hasn't heard anything, turns to look at Gamel. What are you talking about, child?
Listen. Remember how it was totally quiet? And now it sounds like, if you listen, you can hear rumbling. Hear
Now that he's pointed it out, DM, I presume I can hear it.
Make another perception check, with advantage now that you're listening to it. You still can't quite hear what's going on. However, the room is starting to shake a little bit now.
Okay, can I at least see that?
Yes.
Harshnag, do you know what that rumbling is? Please tell me it's just like a magical organ that plays whenever people come to the chapel.
No, but it doesn't sound good. I would step back if I were you.
Yeah.
Almost as he's saying that, you see this enormous giant boulder rolling down, and now it's picked up quite a bit of speed. It's just rolling and rolling towards you all. You have a matter of seconds to move out of the way.
Get in!
He's around the corner, he's fine.
It rolls and rolls and then collides into the edge with a loud crash. You see the stone just break into pieces and just scatter everywhere. As it does so, the entire chamber just starts to shudder and quake. Bits of rubble from the ceiling start to drop and fall before you.
Let's run away.
Gideon looks across at Harshnag. You have an odd way of worshipping your gods, child.
I've never seen this happen before. Quick, let's get out of here.
Gideon's gonna bring up the rear, make sure Gamel and Aaron are ahead of him.
Beat a hasty retreat.
What the hell did you guys press?
I hit the self-destruct button.
As you just...
I didn't press anything, of course.
As you're just making it out, Gideon, the rubble that's falling is starting to cave into the door, blocking off this entire section of the chamber.
Well, I'm gonna have to spend another couple 100 years just clearing all of that out.
I would hope the sword we seek is not in that room.
I hope not too.
Was that another one of your safety precautions? Where did the giant boulder come from?
It must come from the other side. I don't know why it set off.
Do we dare try the missile?
We are adventurers. Daring is what we do.
Then let's do it.
Fear not, child. The lady shall show us the way.
Who's this lady?
The Lady Doletta, of course. Have you not heard of her, child?
You've already spoken about her.
Then why are you asking?
Gideon, you're not in Eberron anymore. No one's gonna know who Doletta is.
I have faith that she has followers that even I may not know of, child.
Yeah, but you're acting like it's amazing that people haven't heard of her. You're gonna find that often. Don't be so surprised. It might be offending to someone. They might think you're judging them because they don't know what you think that they should know.
I merely hope that they do, child. If they do not, it's of no concern.
I'm just telling you about how to have some social tact. Like, I know that you don't mean any harm, but other people will not.
Perhaps you can explain that.
Happy to, actually. I would like to explain a lot of things to you, but after the Oracle.
Loud crashes and bangs just start happening as Harshnag is just beating at the door to the mess hall. And as he's doing so, you're starting to see that the ice itself is not only cracking, but it also appears to be melting.
That's weird.
As you step up close to the door, you notice that the doors seem to be heating up.
Hey, Harshnag, stop, please.
Okay.
It seems like there's potentially a great amount of heat beyond these doors. Could I put the back of my hand against the door to...
Someone leave the kitchen stove on.
Well, Harshnag steps back, and you put your hand on. As Harshnag steps away from this room, the door starts to cool down.
Well, that's curious.
Just Harshnag?
Just Harshnag.
I ask Harshnag why he hasn't been here in 100 years. And then I insight check to see if he's lying.
He explains that he hasn't been here in 100 years because he just came to see and visit the Allfather, and then went on with other adventures. And it seems honest, seems true. He does say that that's probably the mess hall fire.
It tends to get hot when a giant comes closer. So maybe it's cooling down the door to make it easier for the ice to break. Maybe. But it's all good. It's all friendly.
Okay, I'm going to take a few steps back while you open that door. Good luck.
He keeps going. The ice is melting away, and he shoves open the door, and you all see this huge flame off in the distance that is just heating up the entire room. This torrent of hot air just flows out of it towards you all, completely taking away any evidence of winter from before you. And lo and behold, as the doors open, you see resting up against this table that's inside this enormous mess hall is a huge steel great axe.
Oh. That's easy.
Seems simple enough.
And Harshnag steps in. As Harshnag steps in, I'd like everyone to make perception checks. It's fitting that Taman got a crit, because as you're watching Harshnag step in, not only do you sense motion off in the distance, your weapon starts vibrating and warning you of danger. At the same time, Aaron, Black Razor, starts... You almost feel an essence of elation. It's like, oh, there's something big.
I yell out, hey, everybody, I think danger's afoot.
You see in the torchlight that Harshnag has flowing out from him, still blowing out, you can see off in the distance, Aaron, from your vantage point, there is a large creature that is almost scuttling around on the floor off in the distance.
Now, Black Razor can tell us if there's a large creature and how many there are within a certain distance, right?
Black Razor knows if there's anything tiny or bigger within 60 feet.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah. This place is too big for that.
With a soul.
With a soul.
I see this creature. Do I recognize this creature as anything monstrosity-wise?
It is definitely a monstrosity.
Okay. Some sort of check to see that if I know what it is.
You can make a nature check while it's slithering along, but unfortunately you don't quite know what's going on. But Harshnag immediately stands to attention and draws his great axe. I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
I shoot it.
Yep, you do.
We're gonna get T-shirts made, and that'll be Matthew's.
I shoot it.
See, I figure if I say it quickly enough, maybe I can get into the surprise round. If you wait too long, you just get your normal initiative round.
You get a shot off as it's moving towards Harshnag. So, top of the round, who's going first between Gideon and Taman?
Carl, feel free.
Oh, we're a gentleman and an Azamar. I will grab one of my prayer beads, cast Bless on Gideon, Gamil, and Owen.
And because I don't remember what that is every day, that's a +1 to attack?
No.
Plus 1d4 to hit, and a plus 1d4 to saving throws.
Thank you.
With that, I will move up and end my turn.
Okay. Gideon.
Yeah, I'm going to cast Wrathful Smite, which basically gives me a 1d6 psychic damage on an attack roll. And if it's a creature, it must make a wisdom save or be frightened.
Okay.
That costs some bonus action. So that's that. And take a position next to Harshnag and wait for this thing to approach with the intent of hitting it when it does.
Okay. Then at that, Owen runs in. He can just about see the creature off in the distance, and he's going to fire his longbow at it. 2 shots. The first one just misses, but the second one does manage to hit, piercing the hide of this large creature. Oh, yeah, plus 1d4. Let's do that. That's enough to hit. So his shots both pierce this creature, and you see it kind of writhing away, and you get a better glimpse of it, this Remor has, as the attacks hit it. That's all he does. Gamel. You fired at it at the beginning, didn't you?
With my musket, yep.
Yeah, go ahead and fire at it first, and then take your turn.
Oh, I already fired. I rolled a 15 and a 12. Well, I didn't get grit, so it was just 15. I think I missed.
You missed.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to drop my musket. So this is going to be exciting. Let me explain how this works. So I have my pistol, which I can shoot 4 times where I have to reload it. Yep. But with my extra attack, I can attack twice per turn. Plus, I can use my action surge. So if I action surge, I can just unload my entire clip in 1 turn of this. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to use grit on the first. I've only got 1 left. I'm going to use 1 grit on the first shot to get advantage, and then I have to add bless to all of them as well. So this is a little complicated, but I'll
roll the bless for you.
All right. So roll 4 of those in a row.
Add 2, 2, 3, and 3.
Do you mind if I just roll the auto attack and we'll just add to it, and the first one gets advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Almost like a gunslinger, you've got it out. Each shot hitting its mark. Bang, bang, bang.
29 damage. And I empty my pistol.
You unleash this torrent of attacks against this creature.
Eat hot lead!
It's not happy. And it starts to just square its eyes straight on you.
I am done.
Aaron.
Aaron sees that they have the range guys have got that other one across the room well in tow, and he can't get to it anyway, so he can sense the other one around the corner, so he's going to charge around to that one.
Okay.
Yeah, to there. He's then going to cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Yep, go ahead. As you step up closer to it, you start to sense that it is just radiating heat.
Okay. This might hurt. I can attack with Black Razor. Oh yeah, he's hungry, so it's a big meal.
You swing powerful, perfect shot. Go ahead and roll the damage.
Plus Colossus Slayer twice. Plus Hunter's Mark twice. Plus I'm going to throw a superiority dice in there twice. Plus Favored Enemy.
Stop! He's already dead.
How much is that?
Can anybody do the math? Let's see. 24 plus 13, 37 plus 11 is 48. plus 8 is 56, plus that 3 to 59, plus the 7 is 65, plus 4 is 69.
You hack away at this thing with one big powerful swipe. You cut a huge gash in its flesh, just carving straight through it. As you do so, you feel this enormous torrent of heat, and you take 13 points of fire damage.
Okay, I'm going to cast, as a reaction, absorb elements.
And you absorb 1 point.
No, it gives me resistance. I don't want.
Yeah.
That's
the damage when you attack back.
When
right?
I attack the next time.
Okay.
But because it's a dice, I get.
Yeah. So you take 6 points of fire damage then.
Yeah.
From this.
Okay. Because it's a dice, I'd get to re-roll that one though. So we'll do it again. Sorry. So second attack.
Okay. The second attack, you hit exactly the same spot and do hit it.
20 damage.
Of course you would roll max damage.
4 for the favored enemy. Hunter's mark. Throwing another superiority dice. And then I'll do another Hunter's mark, so it's another d6 for the absorb elements.
Yep. And as you swing again, you take 11 points of fire damage.
I've still got resistance.
But it's halved, so 5.
Okay.
Aaron scares me.
Anything else?
Good.
Okay. So it's its turn to react now, and up close to you, it then immediately starts to just bite down at you. But as it's trying to bite at you, you notice that its tail begins to wrap around you.
Okay.
It rolls a 26 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. I need you to... Oh no, you are automatically grappled. You take 46 points of piercing damage.
Oh.
I'm glad I waited.
5 points of fire damage. It's already been halved.
51. Okay, so... Right.
And as its tail wraps around you, it has grappled you. The target is restrained.
Okay,
so you are restrained by this creature, not just grappled. You are restrained, which does mean your speed is 0.
Yeah.
Attack rolls against you have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls and your attack rolls have disadvantage.
Okay, but I've got advantage on my attack rolls because of Black Razor, so I'm evened out at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's its turn. On the opposite side of things, the other one, it's going to just start moving forward along the floor, almost in a slithering motion as it moves in straight towards the group at the door. But it's Harshnag's turn. Harshnag, seeing Aaron in danger, is going to run up and try to hit this thing for a 27 to hit. That will definitely hit. Takes 25 points of slashing damage. And he attacks it a second time with another powerful shot for 32 points of slashing damage.
Nice.
Loic.
Gonna spend 2 of my psi points assessing these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me the current HP total for it, and all of its immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities. And
which one?
We are gonna go with the one that's approaching from the side.
One that's approaching?
Yeah.
It currently has 230 HP. And it is... You get the damage immunities as well.
Mm-hmm.
It is immune to cold and fire damage.
Any vulnerabilities? No?
Nope, none of those.
Alright, I will tell my comrades that it is, you said immune to cold and fire?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that they are very hearty creatures. Then, I will proceed to move into the room. I don't know if this will work, but it's just a level 1 spell, so I'm gonna cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on the one that's approaching. See what it laughs like. If it has an intelligence of 4 or lower, it will not affect it.
You cast the spell, and it has no effect, unfortunately.
Worth a shot. That would have been pretty funny.
No, it's good. Tasha's hideous laughter has been the bane of many a session. Right. After your action, Lael just charges into the room. As soon as she gets through the doors, she assesses the situation and runs straight at... trying to think which one she would think is more dangerous. She'd run to there. Taman, top of the round, what are you going to do?
I will start by bonus actioning my Shillelagh. I reckon I will saunter over to this fella and give him what for.
Okay.
Do so twice.
So your first attack just kind of glances off of the armor-like scales on this creature, but the second attack does hit.
And I will end my turn.
Gideon.
Is Aaron still grappled at this point?
Yes, he is still restrained in the middle of this writhing creature.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot straight for him effectively and just bring the halberd down, trying to slice straight through the tail or separate them at least.
Are you trying to break him out of it?
Effectively, yeah, but also deal damage while I'm doing it.
Okay, go ahead and roll the attack.
This will be with the whole shebang, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That will have, was it Raffle Smite? Yeah, so an extra 1d6 psychic, and it must succeed a wisdom save.
Okay, so roll the damage on the first two, because they do hit. You do whack, whack, you're hacking down on it. And
That's the that's the psychic.
the one, and it's got to make a wisdom save.
Yes.
Okay.
My spell save DC is 15.
15. Alright. It fails the wisdom save. What does that do?
It is frightened of me until the spell ends, which is concentration up to a minute. As an action, it can make a wisdom check against my spell save to end the spell.
Okay, cool. But from your attacks, it doesn't let Aaron go. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Owen is just going to fire. Simple. 2 shots. First one does hit, second one unfortunately misses. Goes wide and shoots off into the ceiling. Gamel.
I am going to just chuck my hammer. Well, let's see. Who looks like they've been beat up more? The one that's got Aaron held on to, or the one that's, now there's a giant in Gideon over there. I'm going to help out Taman. I am going to chuck Whelm at him.
I appreciate the vote of confidence in Gideon's abilities.
Okay.
Well, there's also a giant right next to him. And it's Aaron. Aaron will be fine.
Yeah. Now, with your range, if you're throwing anything more than 20 foot, it's at disadvantage.
Except I took the sharpshooter feat, so I don't take advantage for the long distance.
No, fair enough. Yep.
Attack. So.
So it's a normal shot then, or no? It's.
Yeah, it's normal. It's just me throwing. Well, I'm not using guns. I'm just throwing the hammer.
Yeah. You throw the hammer. It launches through the air, and it just misses this creature as it's riding around.
All right, we'll give him a second shot. Do it again, Well. Don't miss this time.
Second time it launches and it connects, knocking the creature back. 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
And I see no reason to get any closer. I'll be fine right there. Thanks.
Okay. Aaron, what are you going to do?
How beat up does this thing look already?
It looks weak, but it could still last a little bit longer. Like, you've knocked it down quite a bit, but it's looking pretty sturdy.
What's required for me to break the grapple?
An athletics check or an acrobatics check.
Does it
but
use
because you're restrained, you would have disadvantage on the acrobatics.
I've got advantage of everything.
Yeah, true.
Because of thingy, so it's all going even now.
Mm-hmm.
But is that an action in its entirety, or is it?
That would be your action to attempt.
Can I make a suggestion?
Hmm?
So, if you grapple it back, and then you can push it, if it moves away from you, then mechanically the grapple is broken.
Yeah, maybe. I have this fear I'm about to get swallowed. How big is this thing?
It is huge. It's as big as Harshnag.
It's not purple worm big, though.
It is purple. No, purple worms are gargantuan. So it's not purple worm big.
But I know that purple worms can't eat certain creatures of certain sizes.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't know. He's gonna put damage in.
Okay, go ahead and attack. You do hit.
3-6. Colossus. And... Hunter's Mark. That's one Hunter's Mark. And Favored Enemies. Second attack. Really... Oh, so close to it. Really done with that haste spell right now.
Is that it from you?
Yep.
Okay, so you're slashing away at it. Just while you're restrained, it's difficult to do, but you manage to cut into its flesh a little bit. But as it still has you...
Eat me!
It's going to start to try and swallow you.
I feel like this moment in Men in Black.
So it rolls a 23 to bite at you.
Is that an ability check or an attack roll?
It's an attack roll.
It will have disadvantage due to it being frightened of me.
Is that all attacks or just attacks against you?
A frightened creature has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight.
Fair enough.
And it can't willingly move closer to me for what that's worth.
It tries to bite down on you to swallow you whole, but it catches glimpse of the little being behind you, and it just misses and is unable to swallow you whole. You are lucky. Very lucky.
Very lucky.
The other creature on the other side, though, right up against Taman, is going to do a similar tactic. It's going to try and bite down on Taman and wrap its tail around him with a 29 to hit.
Super.
Taman, you take 27 points of piercing damage and 9 points of fire damage. And as its tail wraps around you, it has you restrained inside of it.
Oh, I am most likely going to fail, but I'm going to... I think it's a Constitution check to maintain my concentration.
You fail, so yeah. Those that had Bless lose Bless, right?
Yep.
Alright, that's the end of the Remor has his turn. Harshnag is just going to attack the creature in front of him with his great axe. 21 to hit, 15. He's going to go for a second attack, and as he brings the great axe down, it cuts clean through the flesh, severing the head of this creature, and it falls around Aaron's form. He is no longer restrained, and you feel this audible sigh from your weapon as this creature has been killed by someone else.
If I had haste, I'd have killed it. Don't you feel stupid now?
Hurry up and kill the other one. Alric, it's your turn.
Hop right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, unhand him! And I'm aiming for a spot that is nowhere near Taman.
Mm-hmm.
And we are gonna cast Lightning Bolt using Necrotic Energy at level 4.
Ooh. It fails the check. This immense lightning bolt just arcs through the air, connects with the creature, and just sends a shudder through its entire body. It takes the full brunt of that attack. And it was necrotic, right?
You got it.
Yeah. Cool. Its flesh starts to wither away a little bit from the attack, but it's still holding tight onto Taman. Okay. Lael will run in and attack, managing to hack away at its flesh ever so slightly. Taman, you are restrained by the creature.
I'm going to grab one of my prayer beads and cast Cure Wounds which is at level 2. So it'll be 2d8 plus 4.
So you get back 10 points of healing energy.
And then I will try to whack this guy twice.
The first attack misses, but you bring around for the second one, and you do manage to hit it for 12 points of bludgeoning. Whack,
And that's it.
whack with the stick. Okay, Gideon.
How's Erin looking, health-wise?
Right,
Erin looks fine.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to take the dash action and try and get over to Taman. And that'll do me. Actually, no. Hold on. I'm going to cast Wrathful Smite again, because that's a bonus action. And then that will be it.
Wrathful Smite. It's got to make a wisdom save.
Only if I hit it. I've not hit it yet.
Only if you hit it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then Owen's going to take 2 shots and miss on both shots. Gamel.
Gamel is just going to chuck Whelm again, because that seems to be working pretty well. Except when it doesn't. You know what? I'm going to play the odds. I'm going to use my sharpshooter and take a -5 on this next throw, but add 10 damage if I hit.
Okay. And it just misses its mark, unfortunately.
Oh no, there should be a -5 to that, so that would be a 7.
It doesn't even reach the creature. It stops just before Taman and then comes back.
Oh, by Moradin's hammer! Ah! That is all for Gamel.
By Moradin's beard is actually a common Dwarven saying.
Well, that's like the deep dwarves. On the hill dwarves, they, you know.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't know about the hill dwarves. That's not my.
We're cursing. We are blaspheming the sacred hammer of Moradin here in frustration.
Grabfar's hammer is also a popular one. I hear.
Whelm shouts out loud for everyone to hear. Stop trying to hit him and hit him. All right, Erin, what you doing?
I'm going to look up Harshnag and go, throw me.
Okay. He will
Possible
grab onto
special,
you, and on
and
his
I'll
turn,
hold-
he will throw you.
Hold my action to strike when I get to the thing.
Okay. We'll see how that goes.
It's worked before.
While you're climbing up into Harshnag's hands, he's getting ready to throw you. The Remorhaz begins to make another bite attempt at Taman with another 29 to hit. Right ahead.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. You take an additional 40 points of piercing damage and 12 points of fire damage. How
That
you
drops
looking,
me to
Taman?
0.
That drops you to 0. As you go unconscious, everyone sees Taman's body go limp and immediately start to go down the gullet of the creature. Taman is being swallowed by this creature. And that's all that you all see. Harshnag, on his turn, got a hold of Erin and just launches him as hard as he can. He's going to make a athletics check.
Isn't that a ranged attack? If Aaron hits him hard enough for 1d8 damage, because he's heavy.
Hey, I'm going to put a little bit of weight on.
No, you're carrying armor. You got a whole bunch of gear on you.
You're
Of
a
course,
bear.
you could turn to a bear mid-flight.
Aaron's actually quite light because everything's in the bag of holding. I've only got plate mail on.
Fair enough.
He is able to launch you the entire distance, and you soar through the air with the sword ready to go. I need you to make an acrobatics check to see if you can actually hold yourself as you're flying through the air.
I get advantage on it. But
You're fine. So soaring through the air, you come down. Go ahead and make an attack against the creature.
can I have moved Hunter's Mark? Doing that?
No.
No, I forgot to do it. It's taking damage though, so I take it that hits.
Yeah, you carve right into it.
Am I going to take? I'm going to take a thud on that, or do you want me to roll anything to see if I land properly?
Well, not only are you going to take a thud, because I've been forgetting to do it, you take 10 points of fire damage as you carve into this creature. And then, I'm going to say because of the attack, almost like when you're in the movies when a pirate is dragging down a sail with a knife. You manage to slow your descent enough that you're able to land with Black Razor in hand, ready to go.
Okay. How much fire damage was that?
10 points of... So, rounded down, 5 points of... Well, do you still have fire resistance?
No, well, I can cast it again, so I was going to do so.
Okay. So it was 10, gets halved down to 5.
Yeah, okay. It just means it doesn't do any damage anyway. But I'm out
He's then
of temporary
going to
hit
move.
points. I don't get advantage or anything now. I'm out of temporary hit points.
Oh, finally. Loic, you are up.
I see Taman going down this centipede, millipede thing's gullet, and I go, oh no, you don't. And I cast polymorph on it, turning it into an oversized slug, like the kind that are your hands size.
Let's make a wisdom save. Gets a 10, so that fails.
What's going to happen to this fucking thing while he's in the gullet?
He'll pop out, because he doesn't get polymorphed, just the creature. So if he's still in the mouth, he'll just go.
But doesn't the creature sort of pop?
Well, I guess it's up to DM how this will play out.
Somebody did this. What was it? They polymorphed into a gerbil, crawled into somebody's mouth, and then unpolymorphed.
I don't know. I don't know whether or not the creature would polymorph. Well, for one thing, what are you changing it to, by the way?
A slug.
A slug. Okay. When I imagine something being polymorphed, its body starts to shift and change to become from what it was to what it is. So, in my imagination, either A, Taman gets polymorphed with it and is still part of it, or Taman starts becoming crushed by the creature's flesh as it's contracting around it.
Now, see, I disagree with that, because this creature is a long, and I agree where you're coming from, and I see where you're coming from, but this is a long creature, and if, in my head, it takes place at, like, a center point on the creature. Like, if you've ever seen those cartoons where people get turned into other stuff, they go bloop, and then they become a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, if Taman is still halfway out, I imagine the creature would shrink into that appropriate size from the middle of the circle, thus leaving the space that is currently contained around Taman.
So you're saying wherever you hit it, if there was any change in size, it would be centered on that particular location. So if Taman wasn't in it, it would pull away from Taman.
Right, that was what I was trying to do. And I made it a slug to make it, the more that it changed, the less friction it would offer.
If it's restricted in the middle and he's at the extremities, then obviously they would push him out as part of the egress of the whole thing.
Depends how far down its throat it is.
I would not have done this if Taman had been completely swallowed already. Note that I never did this with the purple worms or anything.
Okay. He is swallowed.
Oh, he is swallowed.
Yeah, he's not hanging out of the mouth or anything. He is swallowed.
I was imagining within the 6 seconds we'd still see his feet or something.
I could argue that yes, you could.
Okay, we don't have to.
The thing is, it's 6 seconds apiece, and we've had like 3-4 turns since.
No, it's 6 seconds for everyone all at the same
right,
time.
Okay, ignore me.
Technically speaking. Alright, I'm gonna...
Alright, I can do something else.
I'll go for it. No, we'll go for it.
Let's
the
say
creature becomes polymorphed, and it immediately starts to shrink and change into this slug creature. Taman's body is left lying on the ground, unconscious, next to this small slug. Because polymorph also changes the size of a creature, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Taman, you are popped out, but still unconscious. Anything else, Loic?
I'm going to tell them to get Taman away before attacking it again. If it takes damage, it'll change back.
Okay. Then, at the end of your turn, Lael will step over and use Cure Wounds on Taman. Taman gets 12 points of health back. And wake up at the foot of a slug. But that's all she's going to do. Taman, It's your turn.
What's going on?
You're also prone, by the way.
I stand up. And I say, again, what's going on?
Don't step on that slug.
Okay.
How long does this last, Larry?
Up to an hour, I think? Oh, yes.
I'm going to risk it. I'm going to step away and risk provoking an attack of opportunity from the slug.
It does not attack you. It's a slug. It doesn't have attacks.
That's fortunate. All right, and then I will grab that other bead for healing and cast that on myself again, and that will end my turn.
Okay. Gideon.
Gideon is just going to ready to attack this thing if somebody else triggers it. If he attack and it pops it back into its normal form, he's going to wait until somebody gives him the all clear.
Let me just pull out how much health does the slug actually have.
1 hit point. Is the slug even a creature?
Not in the monster manual. Don't see a slug. Because your polymorph spell does specify that it has to be a beast.
Turn it into a bunny. Bunny's fine.
Yeah, I should have really checked this a moment ago. We'll go with it and we'll say it's only got a handful of hit points. That's fine.
The closest thing that I can find to something like that is a spider right now.
Okay. So, retcon, it was changed back into a spider. Okay. Cool. So, Gideon, you were waiting, you said?
Does the spider have an attack of opportunity?
No.
Yeah, Gideon was going to wait for somebody else to trigger its transformation back into whatever the hell it was.
Then Owen, taking that cue, going to fire. Fires, he hits it, it shifts back into the form that it had in that moment.
That guy's a crack shot.
Kill the little spider.
His best aim was when it was a spider. Gamel.
Would he have fired twice with the extra attack?
Yes, he would have.
So he.
And the second shot misses.
Okay. Shall I take my attack now that it's moved?
Yes, go ahead.
Alright,
Make
cool.
your attack.
That will have the Raffle Smite to it as well, so it's going to make a Wisdom save and does take 1d6. So that's 5 psychic damage as well.
It succeeds the wisdom save.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else from you? That was your attack that you had planned. Gamel, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Just gonna check my hammer at him twice. I'm gonna say, well, it's half your job too. I'm doing what I can here. Hit him. Hey!
And you hit.
Smack.
With a
All right.
resounding pound.
Let's bump up our batting average. Hit him again. I just gotta talk some confidence into him before you throw him, I guess.
And he starts just shouting slurs at this creature, insulting it in many different forms. Aaron.
Aaron is going to work his way around to flank this thing.
Okay.
So it's his bonus action to move Hunter's Mark onto it. He is then going to feed Black Razor, or attempt to.
You do hit. And as your attack connects, you take 5 points of fire damage.
I'm going to cast Absorb Elements again.
Okay, it was 10 drawn down to 5.
Okay, right. No, yeah, that only lasts my turn, so I'm starting a new turn. I'll have to cast it again. Okay, and then attack again.
You do hit.
17 plus Hunter's Mark. Favored enemy, and I use an obscurity dice this time.
Keep pounding on this creature, and it's starting to weaken quite a lot now.
Is that 5 damage still?
No, we'll drop it down to 4 points.
Drop it down to 4. Yep.
Anything else from you, Aaron?
That's my goal.
Okay. Then the Remor has, seeing its quarry moved away. It's going to turn around and bite at Aaron, who's been attacking it, with a critical failure. It misses terribly. It's now Harshnag's turn, and he actually runs up, and realizing that he took the last kill, he's actually just going to run up and use the help action to give advantage on any additional attacks against it. Loic, it's your turn. You see this creature is looking quite weak, and Harshnag is actually using whatever he can to kind of corral it and get it into a position that anyone can benefit from.
I do nothing, but I look like I'm ready. I look like I'm still paying attention and I'm involved in the fight. I just don't do anything.
Fair enough. Then Lael swings. She weakens the creature a lot. It's now barely standing. Taman, you're up.
Not wishing to get back into close quarters with this fella, I will Sacred Flame.
How do you want to do this?
Well, I shakingly put my hand up, still recovering from the near-death experience, and called down this radiant green, flamey-looking thing, and it totally coats the scales of this creature that tried to swallow me whole.
And with that radiant beam, the creature just starts to... Well, it crumbles and falls to the ground, lifeless before you. Harshnag sits back.
Oh, that was fun.
Damon, you okay?
Yeah. Just a little winded is all.
Do you need a potion or anything?
No, I'm save your potions. I can handle it. Thank you though.
Yeah,
Aaron's going to cast Cure Wounds.
you can't beat me to it.
It's not. You might have to do more because I haven't got. Yeah, sorry.
While everyone else is tending to Taman, Harshnag walks over to the great axe that's on the floor, and with a heavy, loud grunt, he picks it up and starts walking back to the main chamber.
How's everybody feeling?
Can I investigate this room that we're in real quick, just to make sure that we covered everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll an investigation check.
In case there are more remoras.
I lose something.
You look around and it seems like a very bare and basic mess hall. There's tables, chairs, there's remnants of old plates and cups. No food or anything, but right in the center is this enormous fire pit that's just bursting out all of this incredible heat at everyone. But nothing else.
I'm going to give both Taman and Aaron a look over, try and gauge their health state.
Aaron's fine.
I'm okay. You don't have to worry about me.
He's going to stick close to Taman anyway, as soon as he looks the rougher of the two.
Yeah, Aaron's taken nothing for the second.
And as Harshnag continues walking towards the glyph, intent on following the idea that Loic had of poking, we're going to end the session there, as you see as he connects the frost giant weapon to the ice glyph, and the glyph immediately lights up and stays lit. We'll end the session there.
Well, I was going to suggest a short rest before we enter in. Is that...
You can do that.
Yeah.
This room is probably plenty big to house a tower if we wanted to bring out the tower and actually chill.
I suggest we take an hour out. Like, some people took a few hits there and can do but maybe some hit dice.
I'll go with that.
I would ask Harshnag if he would be okay with me putting up the tower in here, or if he would prefer elsewhere.
He explains that he's fine with it if you need to rest. You took a lot of damage and he wants to make sure that you're fine. He says he'll keep watch if you all want to go inside and take care. It's perfectly fine to raise the tower where you are.
Cool.
Gideon has yet to set foot inside the tower, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm. I will go away and I will try to investigate the polymorph spell. The reason why I feel a little awkward about it is the line where it says that the creature's gear is also melded into the new form. Seems to suggest to me that anything the creature has on it, even if it's holding it or not, gets melded.
Or in it as well.
So we'll see. What was that you just sent me, Taman?
It's not the exact link I meant. Let's see if I can get this one. Here we go.
So, if a druid turns into a giant toad and swallows a creature, what happens when she turns back to her natural humanoid shape? As a DM, I'd make the druid regurgitate the creature. If I was cranky, I might make the druid explode.
So, you're going cranky DM route.
Both.
Yeah.
Well, yes. So, in this particular ruling, in one case, Jeremy would have Taman be regurgitated. In the other case, he would have had the slug explode, and Taman would be lying on the floor, and then the thing would turn back into the Remorhaz.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna suggest that if nothing else came up, then we're doing D&D for the sake of fun, and I try madcap combat moves again for the sake of illustration and fun. So,
Your Honor, the legislative intent was surely to make a game worth playing for amusement. To that end, this court ought to rule in our favor for the rule of cool.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, but that ruling is to state that the polymorph spell has already been cast, and then it's reforming back from that the shape it's changed to its original form. Not you didn't have it in its mouth when it was cast, which is.
I think it's still
slightly different.
It is slightly different, but I think that it's still the fundamental is there about how the form reacts around the non-moving form inside of it.
Yeah, but you've got to think about if the form if it was cast, is the form included with the casting in the first place? Whereas taking away the spell obviously doesn't affect the creature was within it in that instance. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I do. You're going back to his Aaron's original point that the spell states that anything on your form gets.
Yeah. But I'm kind of like, I was going to suggest like Aaron being thrown at the thing might have gut punched him, and he would have got that, and then at the same time, Loic's done the polymorph, and he's kind of it's all happened at once, and he's come out.
Yeah, everyone was going to throw everything at that thing trying to get Taman out.
Yeah.
See, this is why I play a fighter. I don't have to worry about spells or anything else. I just chuck a hammer at it over and over again, and that's the end of the day.
I love my spells. I would never ever trade them.
So I was kind of under the impression there, Aaron, it couldn't swallow large creatures, and I was tempted to
shift up. No, I know. I know you were thinking that.
But I went, no, Aaron. No, so he's going to just go for anything.
It was a very good strategy. It was a very good idea. I think we'll end up going with, as we did, that the creature shifts and whatever was inside of it gets thrown out. It works. It is a good thing. I think we'll probably go with that. Unless I can find a ruling otherwise, we'll go with it as it is. Because, as you say, it is more fun. It is a little bit more descriptive, and it's more tailored towards you and all of that kind of stuff. So
appreciate it. It was making sense in my head to where a thing could hurt if you change it from a stronger form into a weaker form. That thing gets hurt. If you change it from a weaker form into a stronger form, then that would hurt the thing inside of it. If it had stone skin suddenly, or razor teeth, or anything of that sort. So you can do different outcomes, varied outcomes, depending on how it's done.
Mr. DM, before we end, can we find out how much XP potentially? Because I'm quite close to.
Yeah. You think that extremely deadly encounter might have been enough?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Plus the wild men.
Yeah, that's
Everyone-
right. And are we
And
going
the
to split
dragon.
it? Are we going to split it normal 7 ways, or are we going to split it by a lower denominator?
Well, they were included.
Oh, that's true. But maybe we get some bonus for role playing. Huh? Get Aaron over that edge.
We did slay it. We did slay a dragon. I just throwing it out
Yeah,
there.
you did. You slew a
That's
dragon.
true.
Split 8 ways with Harshnag present. And the extra...
Harshnag doesn't need the experience. He'll donate his to Aaron. It's like gold, right? You can just pass it around.
And role play. Everyone gets a whopping 2,500 XP. Does that level you up, Aaron?
Yes.
One more step towards not being able to play Aaron again.
God, level 6 so far away.
Level 6. I have... what is this? Almost 10,000 XP to go before I level up again?
Yeah, and I've almost got 10,000 XP total.
Yeah.
Actually, quite weirdly, I've only got 13,000 XP till my next level up now. It's really weird. You need 21 for level 11, and then you need 15 for level 12.
Well, I guess that's because you're jumping up to a new tier, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But don't worry. After that, it's 20, 20, 25,
yeah,
30.
Thank goodness. I didn't know that. That really puts a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. So it's a lot. It's because it's like 86,000, then 100,000, and then it gets quite. So it's actually you level up the next two quite quickly.
Yeah, level 11 is 85,000. Yeah, well, I hope you all enjoyed that. Sorry we didn't quite get to the Oracle.
I don't know.
That's cool.
But I do kind of feel like it would be better to do that part with everyone else.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Sorry, I didn't realize everyone could hear me talking to my wife about dinner.
Totally.
I apologize.
You just made us more hungry.
Chicken, huh?
Yeah, chicken. I had some. Have you guys ever had ginger beer, the soda?
Yep.
It's way too strong for me. I've never seen it before, and I bought like 3, and I got through the first one, and I made Lara drink the other one, and she hated me for it. So I had this third one in the fridge forever, and then finally I was like, you know what? I'm just going to marinate some chicken in this. So you had some barbecue sauce, you had some pepper. I found a recipe online. So that was a good use for it.
That's at least a good ginger beer. Ginger beer is awesome.
No, I agree. I'm sure it's just because I'm not used to it, but it's just too strong for my palate currently.
Ooh,
I can only handle the watered down ginger ale stuff from Canada.
Cool. So yeah, we stop as you are in the hall of the Allfather. Feel free to campfire RP. The rest, the whole area, you can investigate a little bit more. I'll give you more details on what you see and all of that if you want to explore a little bit of the room you're in, because there's nothing dangerous in the room you're in. Just obviously remember those players that aren't able to catch up and keep up with everyone, especially Leonie and Jason, who don't know what happened this session yet. So, alright. Cool. Sweet. I'm going to go to bed.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.
I'll catch you. I'm interested in seeing us doing some crafting during downtime, but I'll just catch you on Skype. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, cool. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See you later, bud.